Kia ora, Fiona. Can you tell us, how do you use teaching as inquiry for appraisal using Google Docs?
Kia ora. Teacher Inquiry, this is my second year using Google Docs as my Teacher Inquiry template for filling in the information I have. Pretty much it looks like any other reflective practice when you're using target children and data. So we kick off by having our year group and our focus for our inquiry. This year at my school we've been looking at writing professional development, so I had my target group of kids who were below where they need to be at year 6, 7 and 8. We have our achievement targets, looking at what we're trying to achieve within our teacher inquiry goal. And then we look at our focus justification. So we have what we call our testing week in week 5. We gather all our data, we look at what we've known from the kids writing over the last 5 weeks, and we decide on specific areas of focus and needs, and we aim some target programs around that. They're not specific target programs in the fact that I take kids out and teach them specifically. I do daily journal writing, so I use that a lot, and also we do run writing workshops. I'm in a modern learning environment with 3 teachers and 90 children, also one-to-one digital. So I have trialled kids on writing on Google Docs. I've trialled kids writing in their books, so we have a bit of a balance of both. But in terms of the teacher inquiry, we have our focus justification where I'm wanting to know what's important given where my students are at, why am I focusing on this, and what does my data or observations tell me in terms of my students, and so we fill that out all on Google Docs. Then we have our teaching inquiry, our craft knowledge, so what are the key elements that we're focusing on, what strategies are going to help my students improve and achieve. On our Google Doc we have our headings all laid out, our tools, what we're going to do, and then like any inquiry we just go through the process where we have monitoring, reflection, summative achievement findings, etc, all on a Google Doc. Also on our teacher inquiry Google Doc we have our reading response forms, which are all digital as well, where we've been given readings based around our teacher inquiry, and we have reflective questions around key issues emerging. How do the writers match my own views? Does the reading confirm existing good practice? And then that just keeps scrolling, and that's just an ongoing Google Doc where we're using professional readings to inform our teacher inquiry.
So how does this link into your appraisal?
In terms of our appraisal, it is part of pretty much the check-off list. This is an ongoing yearly document that is completely transparent. It's shared with all staff across the school. It's shared with all management. My team leader and I meet over this and we assess it regularly. From here we also have our PLC groups. This year it has been in our teams because we're doing a writing development professional with an outside provider. We have decided that our PLC groups are within our teams this year. So each term we meet with our team leader and we actually have our group meetings. So my team has 4 teachers in it. Sorry, it's just loading. And we reflect each term digitally. Our team leader fills it in as we reflect and meet. Again, all on Google Docs, all transparent, all shared with other teachers across the school. The beauty about it being on Google Docs is the fact that anyone can access anyone's notes, and not just purely to read, but to see what other people around the school are doing, to see what other students are doing, other strategies teachers are using. It's incredibly powerful when I can sit there and read someone else's teacher inquiry, and go, oh wow, there's a strategy or a tool that I'd really love to use, and I can steal that idea. So we have our little quotes that we reflect on each term, and then we have each teacher has their achieved actions, their next steps and their reflections. I'll just bring mine up, and my team leader fills these in, so you can see I haven't done term 3 yet, but that's just what I did, what went well, and what I'm going to try further on next time thinking about my kids in my group. And again, that is an ongoing Google Doc that is signed off at the end of each term.
Has there been any barriers that you've had to overcome as a staff around it being transparent?
Certainly some teachers are probably a little bit hesitant in the fact that anyone can access their teacher inquiry. I love the fact that I can learn from other teachers through the use of the Google Docs. But some teachers probably still find it a little bit scary that other people can go in and access information that they've written, that they've reflected on. Me personally, I find it a really powerful collaborative tool. Being in an MLE, the power of the collaboration is immense, and Google Docs has allowed us to share openly, and if you're not at meetings or if you miss a meeting, you can still catch up. And it's just a fantastic evidence of learning over your year, and also in terms of your portfolio and things that you have to gather. So I love it. It's great.
People who are beginning this process, maybe sitting in the room here thinking about getting started, what advice would you give them?
Definitely just have a go. Get things down. I don't think it's not about writing tons and tons and tons of information. It is easier digitally to sit there and type and run away with it. When we have our PRC reflection, we sit there and we discuss and we type as we discuss. It's all really beneficial. There isn't a lot of jargon on there. It's all definitely teacher speak. And don't sit there writing stacks and stacks. Just write what's really important, and it's got to go back to the whole point of the teacher inquiry is that it's about achievement and learning for the kids and for you as well, and professional growth. But yeah, just have a go.
Cool. So you highly recommend using your teaching inquiry to link into appraisal rather than two separate, for it to be completely unified?
Definitely. I think the appraisal system still stands alone. The teacher inquiry kind of comes in underneath it, but it's just the fact that because you're ongoing all the time and that reflective practice. And the thing about teacher inquiries, it's something we have always done and we always do as teachers anyway. This is just a really nice way of compacting all your evidence, and then that all just gets checked off and is signed off on your appraisal. And there's no real extra work on top of. It's great.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Fiona, for sharing that. And I'm sure that, we've just learnt a lot in the last 7 minutes, so that's awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.